Tap in, Crown Collective. Tap in. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see what's going on with my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people, my divine feminines. I need to talk to y'all real quick, so come on up in here. And all of those that are supportive of the divine feminine, because, baby, we have a lot to talk about. Now, one of the things that I think we need to get in order is the fact that you might not realize just how much you've elevated the people around you. Yeah, I think that it's about time that I pour into you and allow you to recognize that the fact that you have continuously elevated, by proxy, elevated the people around you. Yeah, tap in, tap in. And the fact that people have disappeared or dropped away from you does not deter the fact that they are venting. They are venting about you. Oh my goodness. Matter of fact, yeah, we really need to get into this. We really need to get into this. We're gonna get into it. Yeah, because I feel like sometimes you don't give yourself enough credit. As a matter of fact, now I feel like I know for a fact that you don't give yourself enough credit for all the work that you've done and all the people around you that have looked at you for advice, for leadership, for for instruction. So I would like to pour into you today, and I hope you don't mind if I do that. But first, I have to switch something in my back, so give me 1 second, okay? Okay. All right. Boom. There we go. All right. Hey, hey, hey. I had to switch something in my back office. So please forgive me, y'all. Let's get into this beautiful divine message for my women in leadership, for my women in their arrival era. Let's dive into this. Woo, we got cards flying all over the place. And immediately we got the 9 of Wands. Yeah. It's a lot of y'all out here right now that have decided that what happened last year is a non-factor for this year. Yeah, so a lot of loose ends being tied, a lot of loose ends not even being tied, they're being completely severed. Oh my God, today. Oh, do you know how big of a deal it is when you finally decide to sever the ties with people who have mooched off of you, who have mooched off of your growth, or who mooched off of parts of you that weren't completely healed, or the leaks that you had in your energy. And you know what this 9 of Wands is telling me? This 9 of Wands is giving me the energy of like, you're adding order. You're adding order back into your life. Yeah, you're over the chaos. You're over the whoop-de-doops. You're over all of it. This 9 of Wands is letting me know you're not playing any games. This 9 of Wands is saying like emotional regulation is at hand. Where before you used to like rage and you used to be so upset for days and it just angered you, and people who had something to say to you or who tried to play you or anything like that would linger in your spirit for a minute. Hi, E. Hi, Travis. I see you. That would linger for a minute. And now you're just like, no, I'm adding order to my life. I'm adding order and I'm creating order out of the chaos. And let me tell you how beautifully, divinely feminine that is. Okay. When you're able to look at the bull crap that's happening around you and say, you know what? I know what I need from these situations, and I'm going to pour into myself and create the order. Tap in. And anything that you don't need is to the wayside. It's not coming back. You let it go. Because you've done it and because you're doing it, it might not seem like such a big deal, but it is. And if it wasn't such a big deal, then people wouldn't be spending buku money to try to do what you've already done, which is to create order out of chaos. Tap in. And a lot of times when you're creating that order out of chaos, it's not pretty. It's a fight. It's a fight. You have to fight your limiting beliefs. You have to fight your mindsets. You have to fight the people around you. This is where spiritual warfare will look you right in your face and be like, okay, I'm here. What you going to do? And you have to make a decision on whether or not you're going to engage or you're going to tell that devil to go somewhere else. Tap in. A lot of times when you are creating order out of chaos, you are tempted. You are tempted to go back to your old ways. And so I need to impress upon you the fact that you have done it and doing it actively. It says a lot about your character. It says a lot about how much you loved yourself. And I don't want you to sit back and be like, oh, well, it's not that big of the idea. No, it is. That's why so many people are still struggling with it. That's why you can turn on any TV station, go through any social media, and find people who are struggling to create order out of chaos. Ooh, wait. And I love that for you. And you know what else, collective, that I'm seeing here? I'm seeing that you are creating a set of standards. You're creating a set of standards, and your standards, let me tell you something, your standards have taken the game to the next level, so much so that the people who are relying on your lack of standards are freaking out. Not just freaking out, they're crumbling, they're stuck. They are stuck. You know, one thing, Seven of Swords, one thing that I do understand personally and from supporting a lot of your journeys is that when you start introducing, especially when you're micro dosing your standards and you're saying, okay, just this one thing I have control over in my life. This is the one thing I want to make sure that everybody follows when it comes to who I am and what I'll accept. That small movement that leads to other standards. But this one thing, this could be something as simple as, hey, you know what? I am no longer going to allow people to smoke cigarettes around me. You've been smoking cigarettes for 50 years, okay? And the one standard that you set for yourself, the one rule that you set for yourself is that I'm not going to allow anybody to smoke around me. If you want to smoke, go somewhere else. Let me tell you something. The people who do not respect that boundary or don't see the benefit in that, because you know that this is a part of your journey, they are going to lose out on what comes from that clarity, on what it feels like when you finally draw that line in the sand. When you decide to say, you know what, I'm not going to allow you to speak to me in that tone anymore, it's highly disrespectful. Watch that person completely lose their crap. Okay? Having standards for yourself and setting a new structure, it is imperative for you. And that's why I said, no, you elevated and you help elevate them. And it is the deep destructive behaviors that keep them stuck, not you. I need you to understand that. And that's why you feel like you're being pulled away from those same people. Yesterday, I talked about leaving those people in the rear view. Baby, you've got to get out of here. What are you holding on? No. What are you holding on to? What is going on in your mind where you feel like so much you're changing? You know you changed. Your internal is starting to reflect your external, yet for some reason, it is hard for you to say to the person who's been around for X amount of time, to say to them, you know what? We've reached a point in our relationship where I don't believe we're no longer good for each other. No, your behaviors are not helping me anymore. The reason why a mature person will say, you know what? That's okay. I'll see you around. A mature person would say that. Okay. I'm sorry to lose you as a friend. I wish that there was more that I could do. I won't do what you're asking me to, but you know what? I respect where you are and where you're going. I wish you the best of luck. No love lost here. Congratulations. Boom, done. But because you, through your lack of boundaries, tap in, I'm talking to you, through your lack of standards from time to time, most of the time, the old version of you have let so much slick-ish go by, people became dependent upon the fact that you didn't have any standards. They got comfortable with that. They got real comfortable with that. Whoo, collective, just immediately coming over, 5 of Cups. What I just say? What I just say? This is a new era of you. And this is you. Let me tell you something. This is you looking at your lived experience. Your lived experience is everything that you have gone through up until this point. This is what your lived experience is, why it feels like talking to a brick wall with a teenager who thinks they know everything. This is why when you talk to somebody who's 18, 21, 25, who thinks they're grown, your big grown self is like, baby, you have no idea. How many of y'all have had that conversation where you talk to someone who is young, okay, who thinks they're grown? They think 25 is grown. And you like, baby, you have no idea what life is. No idea. It's because your lived experience is one of the most powerful tools that you have in your spiritual arsenal. You can have people who've gone through the ringer, baby. You can have people who've gone through the most. You can have young kids who've been through systems, who've been hurt, who've been everything. And still, because the time that they've had on the face of this planet is literally not enough, they don't know everything. They don't know. Doesn't discount their lived experience up until that point. But you've seen these same kids up until now when they get 40, 50, 60 and how they've matured. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? So I feel like with this 5 of Cups, you are at one of the highest points of your emotional intelligence ever. And I feel like your communication skills have just elevated so much. That is why when you were in the mud with your friends, with your family, with a job, with an environment, whatever, when you were in it with them, it was almost like you had to dumb down your conversation. You had to dumb down your points. You could only go but so far in a conversation because you knew that there was no way to communicate beyond where your audience was. And your audience was who you were hanging around with. You see what I'm saying? This 5 of Cups is giving me better communication, better emotional intelligence, and being able to trust yourself enough to leave empty-handed, by the way, from one relationship and move on. Tap in. And when I say empty-handed, I need you to understand that when you've reached a point in your life where you have fed yourself with goodness so much that it automatically pours out of you, your heart, your goodness, your love, your support, it pours out of you, and people take. The people that are taking, they're not giving it back to you. They're not pouring back into you. They're not saying like, hey, here you go, take this back. You leave empty-handed. Not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying it's what it is. The exchange is rarely mutual. Tap in. Rarely mutual. Oh my God, today. Ooh, tap in, collective, tap in. Tap in, Crown Collective, tap all the way in. And I'm gonna tell you, you gotta be okay with that. You have to be okay with leaving empty-handed. That is a mark of a mature divine feminine and a woman that's in leadership and a woman who knows what's ahead of her. Tap in. Knowing that you will leave empty-handed or leave with less than, and trusting that it will be rebuilt or replaced as you move forward. Tap in. Whew. And there's something actually kind of magical inside of leaving empty-handed. It gives your hands room to move and pick up and put down and feel. I'm talking about like metaphysically and physically. It gives your hands room to build. So you're not carrying baggage. You know, Erykah Badu made that song Bag Lady. And every time I hear that song when it comes on, I get a different message from it. I get a message from the woman who has dropped all the baggage. I get the message from a woman who's carried the baggage. I get a message about the woman who has carried everyone else's baggage, even though she had none on her own. I got a message from the woman who's carrying her baggage, everybody else's baggage, and still collecting baggage along the way. And I want to say to the woman who is carrying not just their own, but everybody else's baggage, it's okay to throw some of that shit in the trash. Tap in. It's okay. It's okay. It does not negate from your lived experience. It doesn't negate from your life. It doesn't negate from your story. But baby, you ain't got to carry that. You've been carrying it for a long time. Why? Why keep carrying it? You have to process. You got to put it through a processing plant. That's what they do when they recycle. That's what they do when they throw things in the trash. I know you might think, oh, it's just dumping in the landfill. Even the trash got to go through a process, baby. You gotta let that stuff go. You gotta let it go. And know that sometimes all you have is a memory, and even that need to be gone. Tap in. I'm talking about when you start elevating to your next level, you actually forget some of the people that you came in contact with. Your story becomes just that, your story. And you're not carrying around that weight anymore. The weight that's actually being carried around is the shame and the guilt and what society has placed on you to feel shame and guilt about. Put all that baggage down. It's not for you to carry anymore. It's about time that you lay it down. You know, there's a lot of women out here that teach you the art of reinvention. Reinvent yourself. Doesn't mean that you destroy your story, but what it does mean is that you give yourself a fresh start in spite of your story. And I love, love, love the idea of reinvention. I love the idea of starting over. I do. I support it. Some of you had to start over because of forces, outside forces that, you know, just not good circumstances. But many of you have the option to start over because you've built a roadway that allows you to move accordingly. Start over. Start again. Okay? You're not starting from lack. You're starting from a base point of knowledge. A lot of people are scared to move on because they would rather suffer in the familiar than to grow in the unfamiliar. And that's why as you elevate and you helped elevate other people, they decide to stay stuck because you're willing to go to the unfamiliar. Oh, baby. You're willing to venture into unknown territory. You're willing to go to a place where you don't know the language, where you don't know the culture, where you don't know what's around, but you're willing to learn and you're willing to build within that, no matter what it is, new city, new state, new job, new friends, new family, whatever. It's new, right? You're willing to go into the unknown. People are terrified. Terrified. I've spoken to these people myself. And my travels into the unknown have to do with location, emotional understanding of myself, school, food, whatever. It's a couple things. And I've had people tell me in the simplest thing, oh, you are so brave. Oh, I could never do that. How many of you have told your story and somebody said, oh my God, I could never do that? When you were willing to take a chance on yourself. Whew. When you were willing to take a chance on yourself and somebody said, oh my God, I could never take a chance on myself like that. I'm too scared. People tell you. That's a mindset that stays stuck. That's a mindset that stays stuck. Tap in. Oh my God, today. And let me tell you something, collective. As I round off this these four corners, this 5 of Cups is facing east. Y'all know east to me is the mountains. So that makes a lot of sense. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, Knight of Pentacles. You know what's going on with this Knight of Pentacles? I feel like there's an organization happening. Now, I mentioned order out of chaos earlier, but there's an organization happening, and I love it. It's the organization of environments. You're being very selective about where you go and how you show up in those places. I feel like a lot of you have like 3 main places that y'all rock with. Your home, a coffee shop, and maybe like a park or something. Your home, a coffee shop, a park. You're being very careful about where you place your energy and where you are. And that's done on purpose. And I'm going to tell you, the people that are watching you, they're going to tell you as your environment changes, they're going to say, oh, you don't hang out with us no more. Oh, you don't come to this place anymore. Oh, I haven't seen you in a long time. Oh, how come you don't rock with that place? They're going to tell you like, we haven't seen you. And that's because your vibration and your energy and what fills you and feeds you has completely changed. You have set a new standard for yourself. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Setting a standard for yourself elevates you. It elevates the people around you who want to change as well. Don't just take notice of the people who are stuck. Take notice of the people who are like, hey, you know what? I like the way you're moving, and what you are getting in your life is what I want. I'm going to make my own moves. Tap in. I keep telling y'all you're inspirational. I keep telling y'all you're inspirational. Even the trash talkers who opening up back chats about you, even the trash talkers that's out here talking ish and hating on you, you inspiring them. And y'all think I'm playing. How much inspiration do you need? How much do you have to do, collective, to inspire a hating ass itch to go into her phone, open it up, select the 10, 15, 20 people she want in a group chat, and then stay in that group chat for hours a day to talk about you? Girl, if that ain't inspiration, I don't know what is. Okay, just out here inspiring the girls. And you think that you aren't? You think you aren't? You're providing encouragement. Okay, you're giving these girls a master class in how to organize, a master class in how to do group projects. Okay, and still, when it's time to get the project done, they fail. Oh my gosh, collective. Woo, my goodness, today. What is this? The Ace of Pentacles. Absolutely. Absolutely coming through with the Ace of Pentacles. See the 10 of Cups on the bottom as well. Yeah, that Ace of Pentacles It's about maintaining your accountability. See, that's another word these hoes are scared of, accountability. You hold yourself accountable. When you don't show up when you say you're going to show up for yourself, we don't do what you say you're going to do for yourself, you hold yourself accountable. And you're not blaming yourself. You're not saying, oh, well, what was me? I didn't make it because of A, B, C, D. No, the accountability part is admitting when you didn't do something for yourself and then correcting the course. Tap in. That's the accountability. I could never make up for not showing up for myself or doing what I said I was going to do in this moment, but moving forward, this is what I'm going to do. Tap in. So a lot of people out here that don't know nothing about no accountability. My God, today. Whew. Yeah, the Ace of Pentacles is saying, standing 10 toes down, standing where I am, and recognizing that this environment that I am building, from my heart, from my hands, from my mind to my soul, if something goes wrong that is within my control, because things are out of your control, I'm not talking about that. If something goes wrong, I have the choice to sulk and not show up for myself, or admit that I was doing something else, I got distracted, whatever, and now I'm going to show up for myself in this way. Tap in. That's the mark of a leadership. That's the mark of leadership. That's the mark of a woman who is in leadership. Tap in. Whew, I've been there. I've been there. And you'll find that the more you take accountability for yourself, listen to me, Divine Feminine, the more you take accountability for yourself, the harder it is to hear people's excuses as to why they can't show up for themselves. Tap in. That's real. It's almost like nails on a chalkboard when you start hearing people make these raggedy, random excuses of why they couldn't show up for themselves. Yeah, it doesn't feel good. And that's when you start, woo, King of Cups, my God, today. And that is when you start to realize, okay, this person is not really here to grow. They're not here to love themselves, because a part of loving yourself is taking accountability for yourself. And I know a boss woman like you hate to hear an excuse coming, especially a bad excuse. You be like, girl, I know y'all hate to see a bad excuse coming. Because why? Why? Big King of Cups energy. Taking care of yourself. Knowing what the real is. Knowing how to move. Knowing how to shake. Knowing how to shake people off of you. Tap in. Whew, that's a real thing as well. Let's see what else is going on. Queen of Pentacles. Now listen, we got the Ace of Pentacles that came down to the Queen of Pentacles. I'm telling you, this is the woman. I'm speaking to the woman that knows what she wants. I'm speaking to the woman who knows what to do. Now, if there is a moment in between this where you're feeling like, okay, Cass, I'm overwhelmed. It's so much going on. I don't know where to start. You need to start with a plan. You need to know what you are looking at. I'm going to beat this in your head all 2026. If you do not know the problems, the numbers, the emotions that are in front of you, if you cannot look at them, then you won't be able to even start with a game plan. Whether that's calling a therapist and starting those services, whether it's getting your health checked out, whether it's getting your food right and exercising, whatever it is. If you don't know what's in front of you, you will not know how to deal with it accordingly. Tap in. You got to get it out of your mind and onto a piece of paper. Your pen is mightier than your sword. I mean, that's why journaling is such an age-old mental health proven tool to help you figure out what's going on in your life. It improves everything, your emotions, your understanding. It helps you figure out problems. So I'm feeling like with this Five of Cups, this Ace of Pentacles, and this Queen of Pentacles, I'm feeling like for you to, you're starting somewhere, then you get frustrated, and then you give up. You start, you get frustrated, then you give up. That's because you're only seeing the few steps. Baby, you start writing out your plan on a piece of paper. Tap in. You start writing out your plan on a piece of paper. How many of you have started a business? How many of you have written an actual paper for school? How many of you have said, okay, I gotta do these errands today, right? And all you know is you gotta go to Target. You said you're gonna pick up some bleach and some dish detergent. But then you remember as you in Target, okay, bleach and dish detergent because I'm about to clean up this bathroom like crazy. Oh man, I don't have no scrubber in between. I don't have this, I don't have that. So now you went from the one thing in your mind and the end game, which is cleaning your bathroom, to recognizing that there are many steps in between. Not just picking up the things at the store, but then the methodology of cleaning your bathroom. It's the same thing when it comes to your goals. You got to know where to go. You got to know what to pick up, the supplies you need. You got to know the steps in between and when to hit save and come back later. You have to know that. And that starts with writing it down. That is one of the most powerful tools that you have. I've never met a successful woman who doesn't carry a book around. And yes, it's very easy to pick up your phone and make a list on your phone. But baby, let me tell you something. That writing it down is one of the most powerful tools that you ever have. You got to break it down, Travis. You got to break it down. Tap in. I'm going to like just get you into that. I'm going to beat it into your head in 2026. If you do not write it out, you don't know what's in front of you. Writing is good for your mind, for your soul. It's good for execution. It's good for problem solving. Okay? I'm telling you. Don't count yourself out. Don't count yourself out. So I'm feeling like there's some tension here because you tried over and over again and you keep hitting a brick wall. And every time you hit a brick wall, you feel like you're a failure. And every time you feel like you're a failure, it takes you a while to jump back in. I already know how women roll. When women feel like they can't get anywhere, it actually does something to our entire psyche. And before we can get back up and go again, we got to reset, tap in. Men can just get up and keep hitting the brick wall over and over again. For women, we be like, girl, the shit hurt. I got to sit down. I got to sleep. I got to figure it out. Listen, when you wake back up, get out a book, a notebook, and start writing it down. Do not play yourself. Okay? Know what's in front of you. Know how you're going to attack the problem. Even from there, if you fall and bump your head, listen, it's a scientific method. You know what works and what doesn't work, right? Tap in. Tap in. Woo. You're operating from growth, competence, and accountability. That's what we're operating from. Growth, competence, and accountability. And I'm going to make it very, very clear that when you operate from growth, competence, and accountability, it shines through. It shines through. That's how people know that they cannot boss around with you. That's how they know that when you are around, you bossing everything up around you. Because you understand growth and accountability and competence. Tap in. I'm not, y'all, the Hierophant. Oh my gosh. I'm not speaking a foreign language to you. You know exactly what I'm saying to you, lady. I know what you thought. I was going to come here and be like, oh, the Queen of Pentacles, you about to come into some money. No, but when I see that there's a roadblock here, that you keep getting emotionally frustrated every time you start a project, it's because you're not writing it out. You're not taking the steps to actually map out your plan. I talked about this damn vision board yesterday. You got a whole vision board, and Pinterest got one on your wall. But when it comes to the execution of getting what you want on that Pinterest board, you keep hitting the brick wall because you don't know the steps that you have to take. And then on top of not knowing the steps you have to take, listen, you don't have to struggle on your own. Do you know that you can reach out for help? Did you know that you can ask other people for direction? Tap in. In this day and age, now listen, I look 20, 30, 40 years ago, I get it. If the connections, everybody, it was so hard. It's a little bit more difficult. Everybody online right now. The worst that can happen is somebody don't answer you, somebody says no. If you need help, ask for it. So the Hierophant came out. The Hierophant is the teacher. You so easily give. When somebody call you up and say, hey, I need help with something, I already know you, lady. I already know you, divine feminine. Somebody call you up and ask you for help. Boom, you there. You helping them research. You helping them. You doing everything you possibly can for them. But when it comes for you to go out and ask somebody for help, oh, you too goddamn proud. Your ego. What's going on here? We thinking of a master plan here. And as soon as it's time for you to go ask for help, the Hierophant is a leader and also a learner. The Hierophant is continuously educating themselves about the highways and byways of the metaphysical and the physical. Yes, tap in. The reason why the Hierophant can teach is because the Hierophant learns. The Hierophant puts it into practice. That's why. But you want to sit up here and be only one part of the Hierophant. You only want to teach. Yeah, I'm coming at you. I told y'all. I'm talking to you like you're healed. I'm speaking to you like you're healed, not like you're healing. Because when I'm speaking to you like you're healed, it comes off in a different frequency. I'm not soft. I don't have to baby your emotions. We grown women. It's a grown woman conversation. Okay? So when I'm telling you that the one step that you could be missing is just taking out a pen and paper and writing it down, baby. The one step. And I'm just telling you what works. If you want to know the mechanics about how to do it, you need to open up this app that you're watching me on right now. I'm not multicasting, so I'm only on YouTube. Open up this app you're on right now and ask, how do I write out a plan? I mean, what's the problem? How do I write out a plan? This is your responsibility as you grow. Because let me tell you something. A lot of women that's bosses, they hit a glass ceiling. Y'all know what that glass ceiling is. It's that invisible ceiling where you can't get no further because it's all types of people that's holding it down, and it's all types of systems that's making it impossible, nearly impossible for women to break that glass ceiling. In 2026, girl, first of all, breaking the glass ceiling just seems like a whole lot of danger. Okay? And we think it's smarter, not harder. Babe, we're going to hop on that elevator and get off at the top floor. Okay? We're going to see the CEO. Oh my gosh, Mr. CEO, I just saw you at the golf tournament. How was your par? How was your putt? What was your birdie? I don't know the language like that. You're going to slide on that elevator right with his behind and walk and go all the way up. He going to know your name by the time y'all get off that elevator. You're going to get on his calendar by the time you leave that floor. Girl, anybody over here trying to break a glass ceiling? It's too many women that came before us that already broke it. They broke it by saying, okay, I'm going to go around it. Because you're not allowing nobody to look down on you. and gatekeep. Let me tell y'all something. The glass ceiling exists everywhere. And I broke one of my first glass ceilings during the 2020 lockdown. And during the 2020 lockdown, I was stuck in Indonesia. For real, stuck. Like, it wasn't no flights. And the only flight that was going out of Indonesia back to the United States was $9,000. Now listen. Okay? Everybody at the Marriott where I was staying was saying, oh, this is the best deal. This is the only deal that we have. Girl, you talking about Google. I Googled the CEO, Arn Swanson, at that time. Okay? Googled his name. And I emailed him, his mama, his daddy, his cousin, his grandkids. I emailed everybody on the entire list that I could find. I didn't care if the emails bounced back or not. You're not going to sit up here and tell me that's the best that you can do, and there's somebody that can make the final decisions around here. That man was in his latter stages of cancer and replied back to me. Y'all glass ceiling. The man that's above the glass ceiling and above your glass ceiling just emailed me back. Okay. So what I'm saying, when it's time for you to create your master plan, you are so easily able to help somebody else's with theirs, but you don't want to do the work to help with yours. And the work starts with you pulling out a pen and the paper and saying, all right, how do I get down with this? And trust and believe your list is going to grow. That plan is going to grow, because as you start doing, you're going to find out that there are little pieces in between that you got to get with. It's not scary. It's only scary because you haven't taken the opportunity to do it for yourself. And then you want to sit back here and come to me and say, Cass, how did this chicken head get it? That's right. How did this chicken head get it? I've been had this idea. I've been wanting to do this. Well, that person moved. That person started right out a master plan. And I'm telling you today, if that's you, if you kept hitting a brick wall and you kept crying because you're frustrated, I want you to think of the fact that you did not start writing out your plan. You got to find the way. Who the fool? You got to find the way. Why not you? Why not you? Whew. Sometimes I wonder how many of the women that I'm speaking to appreciate how I'm communicating with them. And the reason why I ask that is because I find that many of the women will tell me, some of the women, not many, some of the women will say, Cass, the way that you're speaking to me is like you telling me what to do. It's like you're not nice about it. No, I'm not going to be nice about it. Why would I be nice when I see your potential and you not doing what you need to do to reach it? But you want to call me up and say, I need to reach my potential. Nice. If you're looking for niceties, then you go over on the dainty channels. Okay. Women in leadership are never nice. They're kind, but they're never nice. They're compassionate, but they're not nice. Because the words need to hit the part of you, okay, the part of you in your spine that's going to get you up to go. Tap in. I'm going to spit these words to you, but you know what you can feel from me is that I care about you. That's what you do know. If you want nice, go over there to the daintiness. If you want to boss up, you come here. Because that's what we talking. That's who we talking to over here. Talk to the bosses. Talk to the ones that want to get money. We're talking to the ones who love passionately. We talk to the truth seekers. Talking to those that believe in God, that believe in their ancestors, that believe in the truth. Tap in. That's who we're talking to over here. Yeah. It is my responsibility to love on you in this way. Because all the other daintiness channels, the dainty channels, they want to soft serve you some BS. And say, oh, when you speak quietly, this is what divine femininity looks like, baby. Divine femininity looks like getting to the bag. It looks like loving yourself more than the world hates you. Okay? Divine femininity is about standing in your truth and not letting people use you and tell you that you're worthless. It's not letting anybody stand in your way. Okay? It's knowing what your birthright is. It's knowing that you don't have to look anybody in the eye and accept what they believe is defeat for you. Divine femininity is loud when it needs to be. And it's quiet and cute when it's called for. This era of women that I'm talking to, they are in their divine feminine era of the arrival. The divine feminine arrival era. That means they're not accepting the bullshit. That means they know what they want. The boundaries have been drawn. Yeah. The truth has been sought. Yeah. The businesses have been built. Yeah. I'm talking to those women who already see it for themselves, who already know, who are making the moves to keep it 100, making the moves to make it a reality, not sitting back waiting for something to drop into their lap. Talk to go-getters. It's a lot, and there's a lot of dainty go-getters out there, ain't it? Dainty, cute, girl. I ain't dainty. All right, I'm loud. All right. But I know what my voice does for you. And it opens up the gates for you to walk through mentally, emotionally, psychologically. I'm a part of your war drum. I'm a part of that gets you hyped. I'm a part of that beat that go down at 808. That's what I'm part of. I know how to do that. And I know how to be in complete silence. That's why I made a great hospice social worker. Tap in. So, as I'm still unpacking this entire energy read, where you're coming in, you're ready to rewrite history, you're ready to rewrite your own history, you're ready to stand 10 toes down, you're ready to speak, use your voice, advocate for yourself, you're ready to thrive, you're ready to love, you're ready to excel in your standards, you're adding order out of chaos, like you are ready to make the next level moves spiritually, emotionally, psychologically. You want to mark this in time? You need to be subscribed to my channel. Yeah. You need to be subscribed here. Chaos at the bottom. Chaos at the bottom, flanked by heart chakra. Yeah. A lot of you needed to hear this message. A lot of you needed to hear this message. Chaos flanked by the heart chakra. This is what I'm saying. Compassion, love, truth. But also, a lot of you are leading with your heart. Let me tell you something about leading with your... Listen. Ladies. Ladies. Listen to me. Leading with your heart will only get you so far. If you do not incorporate logic into your decision making, then it can leave you in a position where you have to start over again and again and again. There is a difference between leading with your heart and leading with the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is speaking to you and saying move, then you move. Okay? The Holy Spirit is coming through and telling you to move, then you freaking move, just like that. But if you're overcome with emotion and you haven't taken a step back and take a deep breath in and out, and you're about to make a decision, I'm gonna tell you to pause. They ain't the move to make. Sit on it, think on it. Take out a pen and paper and write through it. Tap in. Because you could be giving compassion to something that is inviting nothing but chaos in your life. Destruction. Yeah. Disorder and energy that is unpredictable. Tap in. That ain't what we want. So I need you to focus, okay? All right? Are we good? Are we clear? All right. Let me finish out this conversation. I just felt like I needed to say that. Oh, let me finish out this conversation. Now I'm getting to what these heifers are doing. Because I felt like the beginning of this story needed to be needed to be told to you. Yeah. Some of you are breaking free. Some of you are just now feeling, some of you are just having this moment to yourself saying, you know what, Cass, I've been leading with my heart, bitch. I've been leading with my heart. You're right. You're right. I got to stop. You absolutely do. You absolutely do. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that it's completely off the table when you are leading with your heart. It's just that I know for a fact that a lot of women have led with their hearts and it's gotten them nothing but being heartbroken. That's what I know for a fact. That's the truth. Tap in. That's the honest to God truth. What came out? Yeah. Spontaneous decisions. Exactly. Spontaneous decisions that have controlled your emotions, controlled your outcome. And then on top of that, collective, you're being stubborn about it. You want to stand 10 toes down in a bad decision that you led with your heart. Ma'am, stop. Stop. You came here because you know you're a boss. You scroll by and you know you're a leader. You scroll by and you see your life living in luxury. You scroll by and you say, yo, she's speaking my language. Yeah. And so you hit the subscribe button, but also you stop playing yourself. Tap in. It's okay if you look at yourself and you say, oh my gosh, Cass, I made such a huge mistake. I got to start over again. Let me start. What better time than now? What better time than now? Tap in. Oh my God, today. Now, let me tell you something about these people who are stuck. Because I mentioned them a few times, but the title of this video is that you are elevated. You're the woman because they're stuck. Okay. So let's talk about the stuckness that's going on here. 1 second, y'all. Sorry. Here's what's going to happen. You are going to have people who deflect responsibility. They're going to tell you it's all your fault. They're going to tell you it's your fault that they're still stuck. They're going to tell you it's your fault because you didn't show up for this or you didn't say that or it wasn't. They're going to tell you all of the reasons why they have not busted the move for themselves, even though you were stuck at one point and you found a way to bust the move for you. They're going to say it's your fault. They're going to say you had everything to do with their failures. I'm just telling you what these people are going to say. It don't mean you even got to say anything back. I just want you to be prepared for the downright BS that's going to happen when you decide to choose yourself, when you decide to invest in yourself, when you choose to love yourself. Okay? It's your fault that they're still stuck. Yeah, they could have made the same moves. They could have done the same things. They could have loved themselves the same way, and they chose not to. So they're stuck, and now it's your fault because you moved on. Mm-hmm. And that's going to lead to them playing the victim. They're going to play the victim. Because let me tell you something. Your work speaks for itself. I always talk about your body of work. Your body of work speaks for itself. Yeah, it does. Tap in. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. When these people play victim and they create narratives, thank you so much for the flowers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Who is that? J.R. Brown, thank you so much. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. Thank you. Where was I, y'all? What was I saying? Creating narratives and victimhood. The victimhood. Oh my gosh, tap in. When these people play victim, it's because they cannot do what you did. I'm not talking about just your success. I'm talking about moving out of the I'm stuck, I don't know what to do, I have excuses, to what you did was accept responsibility and came up with a game plan. Mm-hmm. That's why I say you don't even know how powerful you are and how much you've changed the game just by saying to yourself, all right, I messed up. It's time for me to make a different move. That is incredibly powerful. And you never give yourself enough credit. You never give yourself enough credit. And I'd be so sad. I'm so saddened sometimes when I'm listening to your stories. And a lot of you came from, like, when I say nothing, many of you came from like the worst of the worst. Many of you came from the worst of the worst. And there's always one moment in your life where you say, okay, this will change. And you changed it. And life started to get better for you. If you knew just how powerful that was on the day-to-day, then I believe that you would transcend every negative narrative that was ever placed on you. You would break the bonds, you would break the chains of the generational pressure and curses that people have laid on you through their own tongues, through their own inability to thrive, through their lack of everything. Mm-hmm. It is imperative that you understand the reason why they have to lie, they have to create narratives, they have to play the victim, they have to minimize the support that they receive from you. The reason why they have to do that is because the thought of them knowing that it takes two steps to change their outcome is going to literally melt their minds. They cannot handle it. They will permanently detach from themselves if they knew that the first step they had to take was self-accountability. And the second step is to say, all right, here's what's next. This is the action I'm going to take. When you opened up your mouth and you said, collective, I gotta do this. The next step for me is, when you said that, you were rewriting the history. You were rewriting your history. You were opening up. I talk about the veins of the universe, the arteries of the universe. The highways of the universe. You were rerouting in real time. You might not have seen it like that, but you were performing magic. You were performing magic. You were using your tongue as a manifestation tool. And a lot of you were saying, I know I have to do something different. I want to do this one thing different, not even knowing that you set off a chain of events that changed the course of your life. You started to have spiritual awakening. You started to see different things started appearing to you in different ways throughout your journey. If they understood that they could do the same thing, all they had to do was just put the toe in. Their minds will literally detach. That's why I have to come on here and tell you, baby, you making that 1-2 decisions of your life that change the course forever, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. You're consistent. You show up for yourself. You learn to say no. You drew your boundaries. Like I said, you're operating from competence, growth, and accountability. Tap in. And I'm going to stay telling you. Hey, I'm going to stay telling you. Yeah. I'm not playing no games. This is the truth. This is the truth. So let me close off with this before I get up out of here. Because I don't need to spend too much time on people who don't spend time on themselves. I'm here to speak love and life into you. I'm here to grow and thrive with you. And I can slide back like I never left. You guys know I'm still recovering from a nasty cold, so thank you for being patient with me. What was I saying? Hold on, let me catch it. I'm here to support you. And I can talk about all the nasty things that they do, but we're going to just sum them up because they summaries at this point. When something go wrong in your life and you the executive of your life, make sure you double tap in that screen, y'all, by the way. Show this channel some love. I'm still a growing channel and I want to get my word out there. So make sure you double tap and show some love, okay? Tap in. Thank you. So we summarizing these hoes. We know they're going to crash out. We know they're going to give a victim story. You know that they're going to go on Channel 5 News, okay? With their microphone talking about how you never supported them or how you left them in the dust. How many artists have we seen try to put their homeboys on? Let's talk about it. Nope. Let's talk about it because I'm here. I'm on one. How many artists have we seen come up? And we can just talk about the big artists, but any artists. Okay, Jay-Z's, the Kanye West's, but let's use Jay-Z. Let's talk about all the people that he tried to put on with the mindset. All the game that he learned from Dame Dash, all the game that he learned from these executives, all the CEO, everything. And he tried to put people on. Feel how you feel about the man. That's irrelevant. The point stands. He tried to put a lot of people on. And because they wanted him to do the work for them. They wanted him to do the work for them. They wanted to ride off of his name. And he said, my name is your entry to the entryway. It's to the door. It's to get you through the door. What you do when you walk through that door is your business. Okay? Well, if you sign that contract, that's your business. You get a lawyer, that's your business. You decide what you want to look like, that's your business. That's what that was. If anybody has seen the documentary on Kanye West on Netflix, you need to go check it out. Because Jay-Z was not trying to give Kanye West no play outside of being a producer at all. Kanye West's toe was in that door and he took it by storm. Feel how you feel about the man. Okay? But that's the facts. So we see these artists try to put everybody else on. And they don't want to take the responsibility and accountability for themselves to continuously make money from their brands. Now, of course, there's some other things going down with it, but the skeleton remains. You got a lot of people who was riding on you, using your name to succeed. All they got to do is know you. All they got to do is have one picture with you. All they got to do is be able to say, oh my gosh, we hung out together. We grew up in the hood together. That's all they got to say. The proximity is what matters. But if they don't take that and say, okay, I can build something with this and become an asset, or I could just sit back and stay in the same place I am and talk trash. They're going to say that you left them behind. How that work? No. While you were elevating, you were doing everything you could to bring people along. Their choices were theirs. And when you finally found the strength, found the opportunity to say, all right, I'm going to get on. I don't know what y'all on, but I'm going to get on. You did, and that was your fault that they left behind. Wait a minute, what? They benefited. They benefited from you. And now that you're no longer around, wiping their behinds, supporting their nonsense, they got a problem with you. I don't like that. And I know for you, collective, that hurts. It hurts a lot. Because these are part of your blood, sweat, and tears story. It's a part of your I made it out the hood story. It's a part of your life, of your essence. People that you love, that you cherish. It's a part of that story. And people so easily forget that you watch them make the same mistakes or watch them have the same opportunities as you did and fumble. Years, actually. Years. Yeah. And when you finally decide to say, all right, I'm out, they made you the bad guy. And let me tell you something about a woman in her arrival era. Let me tell you about a woman who knows who she is. Let me tell you about the woman who trusts her journey, who believes in God, who allows the Holy Spirit to speak through her, who's ready to make bank, who is making bank. That's a CEO, it's in boardrooms and in their own lives. They don't give a shit about being a villain. Tap in. I said they don't care about being a villain. And because let me tell you something, if you were still stuck there, if you were still stuck where they were, where they are right now, you would be BFS. Don't nobody care about being a villain. The high level woman does not care about being a villain in the story of people who had the opportunities to do so. Tap in. Some of y'all actually have had this conversation happen. Let's go. I don't need the damn car. Let's go. Some of y'all had this conversation happen. You've had people who waited too late in their lives to do something, right? And they'll come up to you and say, you know what? Don't do what I did, right? Be better than me. How many have heard the be better than me, right, speech? I know many of you have, many other divine feminine have had the conversation. Be better than me. Do better than me. Go to school. Travel. Fall in love and marry the man that you met. If you want to have kids, have kids. Make your own money. The world is in the palm of your hands. Do more than I ever could, right? You and I are not the only ones that got that speech. It's just that you and I took that to heart and said, bet, I raised you a better life. Okay. And then you had other people who heard that same speech and thought they had all the time in the world and didn't believe in themselves enough to take a chance. Yeah, tap in. You took a chance, now you the bad guy. The collective, the boss, the ladies I'm talking to, they don't care about being a villain. And you can't guilt trip them because you call them the villain. You call them the bad guy. It's actually fuel. I've never sat in a CEO meeting. I've never sat in a business meeting with other women who shivered, who got nervous off of being called the B word because they didn't move how these fools are moving. Never. I've sat in front of families where the matriarch was passing away and you have 5 kids. Y'all double tap this screen. This is about to get real. You got 5 kids. So only 1 child that's doing the right thing, maybe 2, for the mother of that family. And the other 3 siblings, other 4 siblings are coming down hard on that 1 sibling that's doing the right thing. I've sat at those tables. And if you thought for 1 second that 1 sibling flinched at being called all types of names, no, you got another thing coming. They took that name, they took that title and said, let me show you how much I could do that while taking care of my parents. The woman in leadership, the woman in her arrival era does not care about being called a villain. Because the only reason why that's coming out of your mouth is because they cannot use you anymore. That ship has sailed. They wanted the elevation, but they lacked the readiness. They lacked the go. They lacked the know. They lacked it all. They lacked the fortitude. And most importantly, they can't accept their parts, so they're just freaking failures. They're just failures. And they can't ride your coattails anymore. The reason why I felt like I had to say that part is because a lot of y'all are worried about what your family is saying about you. You're worried about your homegirls and whether or not they're talking trash about you, or you just feel there's a shift in energy. You're worried about whether or not, homegirl on the job is trying to set you up. Okay. And it bothers you. A lot of y'all losing sleep at night. A lot of y'all trying to figure out what you're going to do, how you're going to survive. And I'm telling you, once you make that quantum leap and say, it doesn't matter what I do, these people going to find a way to be victims. As I continue to progress, I'm going to find the people who are right for me. Once you make that quantum shift, all that heaviness is going to go away. That's why I talked about bag lady earlier. That carrying those bags is going to go away. It was on my spirit to say that to you. So my spirit to talk about you being called the B word, or you being called a villain or a bad person, simply because you found a way to get unstuck. Yeah. And know that you don't have to stay around those people. You don't have to stay around that energy. You don't have to sacrifice your mental health for that. And if you're someone who is behind enemy lines, meaning that you live with these people, or you might be going through a divorce, or you might be looking for another job, I need you to know that you ain't got to deal with that either. Okay? You block it out. You speak up for yourself. You advocate if you're safe to do so. Okay? Because I know there are real situations out there. If you are safe to advocate for yourself and speak up, then do so. But the fact of the matter is, there's nothing that you can do about them feeling like it's your fault that they're stuck. It's going to be 25 years from now. We're going to be 150 years old, because I hope that modern medicine make us live that long. Okay, because I want to see what's going to happen. All right. We're going to be 150 years old. Okay, on upgraded spaceships. And these fools still going to be talking about how you left them behind and how it's your fault that they still in the same predicament back on planet Earth. It's inevitable. For the successful woman, it is inevitable that you are deemed the villain because other people could not see their own path into greatness. Don't let that ruffle your feathers. Don't let that snatch your wig back. Don't let that remove your edges. Don't let that dry out your hair. Don't let that brittle your nails. Don't let that scuff up your pedicure. Don't let that tighten the strap around your bra. Allow them to think that, because that's the only way they won't self-implode. And I hope that this message was loud and clear for you. Sometimes it just gets so real that we don't even need these cards about to be a thing of the past anyway. Because what we own is next level. Your life is too real. Your goals are too serious. Your pockets need to get too fat. Instead of us worrying about whether or not some chicken head or some groups of people don't love themselves enough to work hard or to do something different. Tap in. It's been a journey. It's always going to be a journey. It's always going to be a journey. It's never going to stop being a journey, baby. Ever. And I'm never going to speak to you as if you aren't still growing, learning, doing. But I'm also not going to speak to you as if you're an infant, as if you're just starting out. No, I told you I'm speaking to you as if you are healed, because you are healed. Doesn't negate that you're still healing in some ways, in a lot of ways. But you sure enough ain't the person you were last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You're not that same person, and I won't speak to you as if you are. The arrival era is here, and it sets you apart from a lot of different people out there. Yeah. So tap in and strap in, because 2026 is about to be the year of straight abundance, and I am witnessing you become the greatest version of yourself. Yeah. You know what? I think I might actually change my description of this channel. 2026 is the year I'm witnessing you becoming the greatest version of yourself. Yeah. Not even just and beyond, 2026 and beyond, because I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I've said I'm not going back to this mindset of, oh, I'm in a perpetual cycle of healing. No. No, baby, you have arrived. And I love that for you. I love that for us. It's a brand new car smell over here, right? All right. I love you guys. I'm going to go home. I'm going to walk Coco because I know I don't have her with me at the studio today, girl. Sometimes Coco just be on the most. We'll walk Coco. I'm going to eat some wings and I'm going to hang out with my husband. We are watching Landsman. That's what we're watching on, I think it's on Prime. So that's what we're Billy Bob Thornton. So that's what we're watching. Okay. All right, y'all. I love you guys so much. Thank you to the moderators that have kept this chat safe. This is a safe space. I do not tolerate any bullying at all. So if my moderator blocks you, it is what it is. I was looking at my block list the other day. My God, Travis, you've been just getting them on out of here. I appreciate you. Don't you worry, Glow. You didn't miss anything. You right on time. You go back, you listen in pieces when you can. Okay. Does anybody have any questions for me before I dip out of here? I'll give you 2 minutes. Any questions within reason? I'll give you some time. Yeah. I did have a question the other day where somebody asked me, how come I don't surf anymore? Because I injured myself. That's why. Okay. I was out there thinking I was Kelly Slater, and girl, that was not the case. So I have to heal from an injury. That's why. And it's a nasty one too. So yeah, but that's the reason why. Any other questions before I dip up out of here? And I'm going to start asking you guys, if you do have questions that you can't think of right now, I will start answering the first 3 questions in my comment section. That's respectful. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. God bless you as well. I love you guys so much. I say that all the time. And I reckon, as I'm waiting for any responses, let me tell you this. I recognize that when you are the strong friend, when you are the strong person in your relationship, when you are presenting as strong, people don't check on you and people don't say that they love you. They don't. I'm telling you that I love you and I'm checking on you. Okay. Okay. Yes. All right. I don't see any questions, which is perfectly fine with me. Just know, y'all, it's going to be a time where I'm not going to be able to answer the questions. Okay. So you better take advantage while I'm still here. All right. Anything else, Travis? Do you see any questions? Let me know. Thanks to everybody that's contributed to this channel and supporting this channel. I thank you so much. Anybody that sends, I don't even put my Cash App up here, but anybody that contributes to the goals that I have on here, the gemstones that you can do on here. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It means a lot to me. It means a lot. Thank you. All right, y'all. Just wait. I think Travis trying to type something. I don't know. Let me see. Thank you. Okay, we're good. All right. All right, y'all. I love you guys so much. I will see you hopefully tomorrow, God willing. Stay blessed. Okay. Listen, they're only mad because they did not take a chance on themselves. But let me tell you something. Before I get up out, I'm sorry, y'all. Right before I get up out of here. You don't have to wait until tomorrow to take a chance on yourself. You can do something right now. You can pray, you can meditate, you can think, you can write out your plan, you can find inspiration, you can change your tune, you can change how you speak to yourself. You can do all of that. You don't have to wait until tomorrow. Okay? Okay. All right, guys. Love you. Bye.